I was so overwhelmed with gratitude and joy and hope. We've been working on this for a while. We knew that the governor was committed to supporting the emotional well being of adolescents, and has already done so much in our state to advance school based clinics, to make sure there are more psychiatric beds. And we've been talking with them about for a long time about a specialized treatment center in school for those girls who really needed it in that moment. And so when I got the call, I was over the moon. And we are just so very, very grateful to her for this, truly.
That that's great. And that the
Mm.
and the grant is for $1.9 million.
$1.9 million, which is what we said we needed. I mean, the fact that she said, we're just going to make you whole on this so that you can move forward with the project just really was a testament to her commitment to the emotional and mental well-being of girls in our state.
So let's go talk a little bit more
Go
about
ahead.
how will the grant money help build the school and the treatment center that's going to be built in Rock Hill.
Trying to be built right here in Sullivan County in Rock Hill on land donated by the Center for Discovery. It's beautiful. We did a walkthrough recently with the architects and the project management team and the civil engineer and Patrick Dollard, the former CEO of the Center for Discovery, to actually start actualizing what we're going to be doing and what the 1.9 million will be used for. That 1.9 million is going to bring our vision to reality. It's going to allow us to complete all of our pre-construction planning phase. It will pay for the talented architects, the designs, the project management team, the civil engineers, the construction management team to level and get the ground ready to prepare our space. And it was really, I think, the moment that we actually walked through the land. We've never been back far in the space, and we actually walked the whole space and where we were going to build the school and the residents. It's just so beautiful. It will lend itself to healing and learning in a very calm and natural environment. So that's what it'll do.
Yeah. So what and it was just remind folks, so what kind of care and education will the girls receive at this academy?
So, the kind of care and education that girls will receive at the academy is that simultaneously, while they're getting their education from New York State accredited teachers who are also part of the treatment team and who care about teaching this population of girls, they will also have a clinical team who will be working with them on a daily basis with them and their families, individually and in groups, for them to address and deal with their emotional trauma and start developing resilience and continue their education so that that doesn't become interrupted. We don't want to exacerbate the problem. We want girls to just be able to learn in an environment where they can take a deep breath, pause, focus on who they are and who they want to be, and continue to learn.
Right, right. Now, this you mentioned a little bit about the natural setting that's going to be.
Mhm.
Rock Hill is a very like, small little community there. So let's talk about a little bit more how the sort of the natural setting of Rock Hill and being up here in the Catskills
Mhm.
will help the girls heal and learn.
Well, there is such a thing as nature-based therapy that they specifically use for people who have trauma. I think anyone who has spent time in nature or going on a walk understands the benefits of that as a natural healing environment. It slows you down. It keeps you in the present, which is a mindfulness technique, by the way. It regulates your emotions. It lowers your stress and anxiety. There's research behind it, and it creates positive feelings. So just by taking the girls and putting them in a beautiful natural environment is half the battle toward learning how to start managing their emotions, right? And so that will lend itself right away to being in the beautiful space. And anybody who's been to the Catskills knows that, it's a fresh air fund type environment, right? And so that's an important piece of it. But we're also going to have, animals and livestock and growing our own food. So they will be working and healing and playing in nature. And therapy will be not only will they be living in a beautiful natural environment, but it will be incorporated into the therapy that they receive. We're gonna create for those of you who know the Center for Discovery, we're going to be creating on a mini scale. We're going to be using a lot of the best practices that they've learned to incorporate it with our girls.
This program not only opened up to not only for the
Yeah.
residents of the county, it's just residents, the girls who have experienced trauma throughout the state.
Throughout New York State, the school will be available to them. Absolutely. Girl in grades 6 through 8. Um, and they won't have to pay anything because New York State pays the tuition and the residency. So, as we've talked about in the past, this really is about leveling the playing field. So, regardless of family income, you have the opportunity for a state of the art therapeutic treatment for your daughter.
Right. So what are some of the next steps? This grant is going to be used to help build the school and the treatment center. So what are some of the next steps now that you are sort of working on?
So while we are in the planning stages and bringing our vision to reality, we're working with Senator Schumer's office and the USDA administration to finance the construction portion of the school through the rural loan grant assistance program, which is what the Center of Discovery used for their children's hospital. The town of Tompkins has used it for various projects as well. We've been talking to them for over a year, and that's the next step that'll happen. In the meantime, we're continuing our programs. We're servicing girls in Sullivan County and the community who do not need a residential center or school, but can benefit right now from prevention and intervention services.
Let's talk about that. You're working now with the local schools, and that's only going to grow with now with the center. But you want to talk a little bit about how you are working now with the girls in schools?
Sure. We have, Adrian, who you've had on the program before, is our executive director, and she and her clinical team provide empowerment programs to girls who are at risk. And we're working specifically right now in the Liberty Middle School. We've been working with them for 2 years. We've got 40 girls in the program right now. We're following the girls all the way through middle school. I think you might have remembered hearing at our event in September one of them had said that being in the program felt like a weight was lifted off of her shoulders. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I find that to be the most touching thing, which is how do you get to the girls before they're in such a state of crisis that they end up in a hospital or they'll end up in a school like what we're building, which you have to have, but you want to really do the prevention beforehand. So that's what we're doing. And I will tell you, that our local schools have been very welcoming of our program, and they have a very long wish list for us. They'd like to see a day program as well. So that's something way on the horizon. But it really is, Patricia, as we talked about, a whole continuum of care, right? So the governor's already invested in school-based clinics. You want to make sure you have individual therapy for girls, which we also provide, and we do group work. And then you all the way up to having a residential school and program for those girls who need a specialized structured environment.
Right. And except I've talked to a couple of schools that are doing other things with mental health. I know I spoke to, I think, Fallsburg recently, um,
Mhm.
connection now with Astor Services, because which is another
Yes,
service here.
we love them.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like they're building a clinic within the school, within the high school. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just about to say, and that is part of Governor Hochul's continual
Right.
investment into the continuum of care. She has invested in school-based clinics, and that is exactly what has been brought to Sullivan County, which we need so desperately.
And it seems to me, well, I was going to say, it seems to me that since the pandemic is sort of with it's an uphill sort of trajectory on sort of making things that are like Astor Services, like the Evergreen Academy,
Mhm.
like the state is putting more investment into mental health services, I guess, because the need is there, and
The need is there.
seeing that there is a need there.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that the governor has recognized and that families like myself and others have recognized is that this is a crisis and that we're not alone. And that there are so many families facing situations in which they don't know where to turn and they're hopeless. But now they're going to have hope because we're building an infrastructure here in Sullivan County and throughout the state where parents won't be on their own. And, young children, young girls can get the help that they need in order to hit life you know, rocking.
Right.
It's the wrong way to say it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, do we rock it in Rock Hill, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
they're gonna rock and rock.
Yes. Stacey, before we go, is there anything else we have not touched on that you want folks to know about Evergreen Meadow Academy? Maybe if they're listening to this, maybe knowing somebody that may need help, or listen to, or somebody actually, a young person listening to this saying that I may need this help. Is there a way to get in touch?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I do want to say that anybody who wants information from us should go to our website. That's the easiest place to get our phone number, to email us, and to learn more about our services. It's evergreenmeadowacademy.org. EverGreenmeadow.org to access our services. And the one thing that I do want to really say as a takeaway is that, not every girl who has experienced trauma or suffers from anxiety or depression or other mental health challenges will try and hurt themselves, but a growing number are. And so, you know, if you're feeling lost as a parent, or alienated from your child or worried about your child, don't wait. Don't wait until it hits a crisis situation. Do reach out to us. And not only do we support children and young girls, but we support parents as well. So even if your child refuses to participate in a program or get therapy, reach out to us so that we can connect you with services and with other parents. So that's what I'd like to say. And again, I just have to say thank you, WJFF, for being a great partner to us. You've been really supportive and we appreciate it. And a big thank you to Governor Hochul and her team, who is helping us bring our vision to reality. So we're excited to be here in Sullivan County, and we're excited to serve the girls in New York State.
We're talking to Stacey Millman, president of Evergreen Meadow Academy, on the new grant that was received, $1.9 million to help build this academy in Rock Hill, New York. Stacey, thank you so much for talking to me. I do really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again very, very soon. Keep us updated on the progress on the thing, and I'm sure once it's the grand opening there, we hope
You're
to meet.
coming.
Yeah, of course. For the place and see all the great stuff that the Evergreen Meadow Academy is going to do. And
That's
it's
great. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it. Good to see you again.